today. My dad's going to show the tool chest he made last weekend. It's made of quarter sawn white oak.
Okay, Gage, go ahead and open the lid.
Okay.
Got two lid supports, as you can see. And on the inside, to keep the drawer from coming loose, I added a little block with a brass pin. When this pin's down, the drawer can't open. When you pull it up, on the other hand, it can open. So, back up. All right, Gage, open the drawer and shut it back so they can see. All right. And as you can see, it's got a lot of space. It is 14 tall, 14 deep, and 24 wide. And all finger joints. The lid, when I went to cut it free, warped slightly, but that's what the chest latches are for. So I'm not too worried about that. I always take a risk with that. And I split that third box joint a 1/16 per side so it wouldn't mess it up visually. The neat thing about the drawer is that, well, let me unlock it again. Pull this out. The slides for the drawer were actually added last. They're just oak strips that are glued to the plywood and the inside of the chest. And I've got one it rides on the bottom, and then I got one that it used for a side guides. And if you look real hard, you can see a small piece of wood glued in to make a stop. Because I never try to make these perfect. I leave a little room for adjustment. So anyway, and also the gap at the bottom of the drawer is larger than the top. That's to allow for shrinkage because it is a little damp down here in the workshop. I added brass corners to it to dress it up and to keep me from smashing the corners out. The front was supposed to be turned the other way so it'd be 100% clear, but I grooved the wrong side so the back become the front. So, and this here same way, when I was making the box joints, I chipped one out beyond repair and had to turn the inside out. But they kind of look uniform, even though they're not. And this is quarter sawn white chestnut oak. And, just take you and show you the other sides. This is one side here. The front. The other side. And of course the back. And that's 1 coat of linseed oil, 2 coats of Danish oil, rubbed over 5 days. And of course it's got the brass chest handles. Looking across it, you can see what kind of a sheen I've got here. Not a high gloss, but somewhere in the middle. Gauge. So when I went to do the bottom, I set it on my table saw surface and seen that it wasn't perfectly flat. Cement teeter-tottered about 30/2 of an inch. So I put up my winding sticks to see what I had. I done decided to put box corners on the bottom and thought it'd be a neat way to shim up because the 30/2 is not bad. The result now is, I'm going to drop this camera down where you can just about see. As you can see, that's pretty good right there. You see how it goes up and it goes out of sight. That's pretty close there. And what I done was I took some regular paper tape. I checked it to see what it was, and it was 4/1000 of an inch. In fact, I'll show you there. Bear with me, I'm one hand in here. See? About 4/1000 of an inch. And then by taking it, folding it sticky side out, I went 6 layers the first time, which would give me about 24 thousandths. And then I checked it again, and then I added like 2 layers to the other. And this went inside the box corner. It went up underneath it where no one could see. And before I'd done that, of course, I failed to mention that the high corners or the low corners, the ones that they teeter-tot on, I added the box corners flat and left the shim up for the ones that, of course, needed the space filled. So, enough for the bottom. Just thought I'd mention how I got it perfectly flat, because it wasn't built perfectly flat. And also another thing I want to mention is this plywood is very thick, at a little over 5/16 thick. For this one here, I done the stop grooves with the 5/16 bit, slid it over like 10 or 20 thousandths, and then made the groove wider so that it would look good on the bottom. See, that's grooved in real nice. And this plywood is not actually made for this. These were actually pallet tops and bottoms I had laying around, but they were the thickness I wanted. I didn't want to go half, and I didn't want to go 5 millimeter or 3/16. That'd be kind of flimsy. So the stop grooves for the bottom was a 5/16 done in several passes. And as far as these other ones went, I done the 5/16 groove on them, but I just run the plywood on edge and cut that 10 thousandths away because it wouldn't be seen. And as far as the thickness of it, I took it down to 5/8 to help with the weight, and it didn't help much. Oak is heavy, and I guess it's just going to kind of be heavy. And that's what the inside looks like. You can see this plywood is not perfect, but it's a tool chest for me, and I think it's going to do a really good job for that. It's probably a little nicer than it should be, but you know, I'm not very tall. Being 14 inches tall would make me a good step stool, but for the most part, I like it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure satisfied with my tool chest. I had to glue it up in 3 pieces to make it, but it was worth it in the end. Made a quarter sawn white chestnut oak. It shouldn't move a whole lot and should last a long time, and it's definitely durable. And we do appreciate you watching the video, and if you like, please click like and subscribe, and see you next time.